The Midnight Revelation. Last Tuesday at 2 a.m., Sarah held her screaming 8-month-old daughter Emma for the fourth time that night. Emma's eyes were wide open, her little fists clenched tight, and despite being awake for 6 hours straight, she fought sleep like her life depended on it. Sarah whispered through tears, "Why won't you just sleep?" Here's what Sarah didn't know. Emma wasn't fighting sleep because she wasn't tired. She was fighting sleep because she was too tired. And this overtiredness was quietly damaging Emma's developing brain. I'm going to show you 4 hidden signs that your baby is overtired, signs that 90% of parents completely miss. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why recognizing these signs could be one of the most important things you do for your child's development. But first, have you ever noticed your baby getting more energetic right when they should be falling asleep? Drop a comment below with yes if this sounds familiar. Credibility plus the stakes. Why this matters. I'm a pediatric sleep consultant who's worked with over 3,000 families in the past decade, and I've seen firsthand what chronic overtiredness does to babies. But don't just take my word for it. Research from the Journal of Pediatrics shows that overtired babies experience elevated cortisol levels that can persist for hours, affecting everything from immune function to emotional regulation. Let me paint you a picture of what overtiredness actually does inside your baby's body. When your baby misses their natural sleep window, that magical time when their body is primed for sleep, their brain releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These are the same hormones that would flood your system if you encountered a bear in the woods. Your baby's nervous system goes into survival mode. Here's the damage this causes. Immediate effects: increased heart rate, disrupted digestion, difficulty self-soothing, and paradoxically, resistance to sleep despite exhaustion. Long-term consequences. Studies from the University of Colorado Boulder found that babies with chronic sleep deprivation show changes in brain structure development, particularly in areas responsible for emotional regulation and learning. We're talking about impacts that can last into childhood and beyond. The heartbreaking truth? Most parents miss the early warning signs until their baby is already deep into overtiredness. Hidden sign number 1, the hyperactivity trap. Here's where Sarah went wrong with Emma and where thousands of parents make the same mistake every single day. Hidden sign number 1, your baby suddenly becomes more active and playful. Remember 7-month-old Lucas? His mom Maria told me, right around 7 p.m., Lucas gets this burst of energy. He laughs more, plays harder, reaches for toys. I thought, great, he's got his second wind. But here's the truth. That's not a second wind. That's adrenaline. Dr. Mark Weisbluth, author of Healthy Sleep Habits, Happy Child, calls this the forbidden zone, a period when stress hormones create artificial energy that masks exhaustion. Your baby's body is literally overriding tiredness with stress hormones because they've been awake too long. The science. Research published in Sleep Medicine Reviews shows that when babies exceed their wake windows, their hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis kicks into overdrive, flooding their system with cortisol. This can happen as quickly as 15 to 30 minutes past their ideal sleep time. What to do instead? Track your baby's wake windows, typically 1.5 to 2 hours for infants under 6 months, 2 to 3 hours for 6 to 12 months. Start your sleep routine 15 minutes before you see tiredness. If you see this hyperactivity, dim the lights immediately, reduce stimulation, and begin calm-down activities. Comment below, how long are your baby's wake windows? Let's compare notes. Hidden sign number 2, the calm before the storm. Hidden sign number 2, your baby goes completely still and seems to zone out. Remember Emma from our opening story? Before the 2 a.m. meltdown, Sarah noticed Emma doing something strange around 6:30 p.m. She just got really quiet, Sarah explained. She stared at the wall for like 10 minutes. I thought she was content, maybe even entering that drowsy phase. This is what I call the trance state, and it's a red flag waving frantically. When babies enter this state, they're not peacefully drowsy. They're shutting down. Their nervous system is so overwhelmed by fatigue that they dissociate as a coping mechanism. Their eyes might look glassy, they stop responding to their name, and they seem to stare through you rather than at you. The science. Neuroscience research shows this is a primitive survival response. When stress becomes overwhelming, the parasympathetic nervous system attempts to conserve energy by reducing all non-essential functions, including social engagement. Real example, 10-month-old Aiden would go silent every evening around 6 p.m. His parents thought he was practicing being independent. 3 weeks later, they realized he was entering this trance state 45 minutes past his ideal bedtime every single night. Once they moved bedtime earlier, his evening meltdowns stopped within 5 days. What to do instead? If you see this glassy-eyed stare, you've already missed the window by 20 to 30 minutes. Don't try to wait it out until they seem drowsy. Move to sleep immediately. Use white noise and darkness to help their nervous system downregulate. Tomorrow, start bedtime routine 30 minutes earlier. Hidden sign number 3. The clumsiness code. Hidden sign number 3. Your baby becomes suddenly clumsy or can't coordinate movements. I'll never forget 6-month-old Sophia. Her dad James called me in desperation. She keeps rolling off her playmat, dropping her teething ring, and she can't seem to sit up as well in the evenings. Is something wrong developmentally? Nothing was wrong developmentally. Sophia was overtired. Here's what most parents don't realize. Fine and gross motor control require significant cognitive resources. When your baby's brain is running on stress hormones instead of proper rest, motor coordination is one of the first things to go. The science. A study in developmental psychology found that sleep-deprived infants showed a 35% decrease in motor task success rates compared to well-rested babies. Their reaction time slowed, their balance deteriorated, and they experienced more falls and collisions. Think about it. When you haven't slept enough, you bump into door frames, drop your coffee, mistype texts. Your baby experiences the same thing, but they can't tell you, "I'm too tired to function properly." What to do instead? Watch for increased clumsiness during usual wake times. This means previous naps weren't restorative enough. If evening clumsiness is consistent, your baby's overall sleep debt is accumulating. Implement an early bedtime rescue for 3 to 5 nights. Put them down 30 to 60 minutes earlier than normal. Protect naps fiercely. Naps prevent evening overtiredness. Tell me in the comments, have you noticed your baby being more clumsy at certain times of day? Hidden sign number 4. The feeding frenzy. Hidden sign number 4. Your baby feeds frantically, but seems unsatisfied. This one breaks my heart because parents often blame themselves or their milk supply. 8-month-old Noah would nurse constantly between 7 to 9 p.m. His mother Chelsea felt like a failure. "I thought my milk wasn't enough. I started pumping extra, giving bottles, but he'd drink 2 ounces and cry for more, then push the bottle away, then cry again." Here's what was really happening. Noah was using feeding as a desperate attempt to self-soothe because he was too overtired to settle any other way. But because his cortisol levels were elevated, his digestion was impaired, making him feel both hungry and uncomfortably full at the same time. The science. Research in the journal Appetite demonstrates that stress hormones suppress ghrelin, the hunger hormone, while simultaneously causing gastric discomfort. Babies experience genuine hunger confusion. They feel they need food, but eating doesn't satisfy them because the root problem is exhaustion, not hunger. Real example. When we moved Noah's bedtime from 8:30 p.m. to 7 p.m., his evening feeding frenzy stopped within 48 hours. He began taking full feeds without the push-pull drama because he wasn't feeding from a place of stress. What to do instead? If evening feeds are chaotic, consider whether overtiredness is the culprit. Don't add extra feeds in the 2 hours before bedtime. This often backfires. Instead, move bedtime earlier and offer a calm, focused feed in a dark, quiet room. If the feeding frenzy stops with an earlier bedtime, you've found your answer. Recap plus transformation story. Let me take you back to Sarah and Emma, the family we met at the beginning. After recognizing these 4 hidden signs, the hyperactivity, the trance state, the clumsiness, and the feeding chaos, Sarah made one simple change. She moved Emma's bedtime from 8:30 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. Within 1 week, Emma went from waking 4 to 6 times per night to sleeping through with just 1 feed. Her daytime personality changed. She smiled more, reached her milestones faster, and stopped the inconsolable evening crying. Sarah told me through happy tears, "I had no idea I was keeping her up too long. I thought babies should stay up until 8 or 9 p.m. like older kids." Understanding these hidden signs changed everything. Let's recap the 4 hidden signs. 1. Hyperactivity instead of calm drowsiness. 2. Glassy-eyed trance or zoning out. 3. Sudden clumsiness or loss of coordination. 4. Frantic, unsatisfied feeding patterns. If you're seeing even one of these signs regularly, your baby is likely overtired. Here's what I want you to do right now. First, if this video helped you recognize overtiredness in your baby, smash that like button so YouTube shows this to more exhausted parents who desperately need this information. Second, subscribe and hit the notification bell because next week, I'm releasing a video on the exact bedtime routines that help prevent overtiredness, including the 3-minute technique that works even for the most resistant babies. Third, and this is the most important, comment below and answer this question. Which of these 4 signs does your baby show most often? Your comment helps other parents realize they're not alone, and I read every single one. Bonus, share this video with one parent friend who's struggling with baby sleep. You might just save their sanity. And remember, recognizing overtiredness isn't about being a perfect parent. It's about understanding your baby's unique signals so you can give them what they desperately need: restorative, healing sleep. You've got this, and I'm here to help you every step of the way.